Hello there, everybody, and welcome back to Ears to the East, where it's kind of the three of us now. I think I'm looking forward to. Hopefully, we're going to be able to do more of these together as well, which is really cool. But we were just having a chat anyway, and the subject came up of our favorite music from this year, but specifically albums, but generally just the music we've enjoyed so far this year. And it's August, but who cares? We can talk about it. So, yeah, I mean, the subject had already been raised of how awesome albums like, so Love Bites had Judgment Day, which was cool. We have W by the one and only GACHARIC Spin. Yes.
I'm like,
what's the, wait a minute. The other one didn't come out this year, did it?
It did?
Oh, it did, didn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, shortly before Judgment Day.
I love like how all you guys had the CDs and I'm like in the digital age where it's like all on my phone.
I was about to say all right, granddad, but it's the opposite, isn't it? It's like, all right, young'un, all right. Yeah, so,
and also like stuff, at least I haven't checked out, new Hanabi and the new GACHARIC Spin. I haven't heard it, but yeah, Howard, you checked it out already?
Yeah. I was gonna say before we jump into it, I was gonna say I know there's the three of us now. This wasn't the type of threesome I was hoping for, but I appreciate you guys.
That costs extra. We can't even afford Zoom. How are we going to afford that?
I know.
Yeah, I personally like. So I'm going to be doing a full review on W later, but I must say that in my opinion, if you want something crazy and different. Like, I think to me, GACHARIC Spin have managed to get their sound together. I was talking about they had albums like Gold Dash where it sounded like they were maybe, the crazy was there and it felt like they were having to keep their reputation for craziness up to a certain level, but it wasn't always clicking. But this is like, it clicks, the emotion is there, the musicianship is there, the madness is there. Yeah, the slap bass can be a little bit much sometimes. It's like you don't have to do slap bass all the time. But I think once you just got used to this is the way it's going to go. It's going to be pretty kinetic and pretty mad. I love it. It's got a range of different feelings, brilliant musicianship, just a great album. But I'll be giving a lot more details on that track by track later. And as I'm the only person who's heard it so far, let's maybe break into talking a little bit about something that we've all heard a bit more, or some other favorites from you guys.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about it just off stream. We were just talking about like our favorite tracks and what we're all listening to right now. And then Howard was like, stop. We've got to record this. This is good. This is good shit.
Well, at the end, we can maybe talk about stuff we're looking forward to, but let's have a little talk about things like, for example, Judgment Day. I mean, Judgment Day is, we've talked about this a bit before, but it'd be interesting to sort of like hear what we all think together, because like, Fami's edition, I think we all now know that was a good thing, that they just kind of like took their style and they just took it to the next level. It's still Love Bites, but it's just gone that one level up, in my opinion.
I agree completely, even though I wouldn't have thought that's even possible. Like they can bring it up even more.
Yeah, that's why I picked it as my favorite album.
Where do you think they found that improvement? That's obviously a question to both of you.
But I'm gonna do this like purely logical. Obviously, we had Miho that wrote a lot of their songs before she left. I think it's a change of song structure and also a change of songwriting. I feel like Miyako and Midori, probably more so on Miyako's side, I think has taken that and rolled with it a little bit more. It's got more of her flair, and I think the way that the songs are structured have that real kind of like classical feel to them now. You can really tell that like these songs are well thought out. Where like maybe older Love Bites was a little bit more like heavy metal kind of Western style a little bit. It feels this album is more Japanese kind of classic core metal, a little bit more mixed in with that old schoolness that they had anyway to start off with. So adding that extra element on top of everything else is really, really good. And again, going back to what you said about Family as well, I think having the change of bassist and the change of what is essentially a change of rhythm for a big part of what Love Bites is. She came, she laid down her notes, and she absolutely kicked ass as well. And bringing all that together, I just think for them really, really kind of took it up a notch. And I'm excited. I'm excited to see what they do next. I'm more excited now after Family's been in the band for maybe a year or two more, and has maybe got that confidence a little bit more to put her own more ideas into the band that she probably would have for the first album that's just come out, and seeing if they can maybe get a few inches.
Well, I was going to ask
it.
whether if Fami's presence has reignited, well, I mean, they already had the energy, but if it's given them a little bit more energy, given them a new spark, the question is do you think that's going to sort of translate into a continued improvement, or are we just seeing the wonderful results of the initial honeymoon of the of the band? I mean, but from what you're saying, I think you really feel that this could go as they get more together as a band.
Together, I think it will improve. I feel like you said, obviously, Fami coming in and reigniting. I actually think it's a case of Miyako reigniting more than anything else. I feel like she's got more of the pressure, more of the songwriting, and
she stepped up to it.
And she stepped up, yeah.
Talking of songwriting, Benedikt is actually proofing this right now. He's actually
I'm trying to find it, but I can't actually find who did the songwriting in here. Doesn't say.
One of those ones where they just say it was the whole band, but secretly it was one of the members, right?
I mean, you only need to listen to the album to know that is like 100% aesthetically Miyako. Like, there's no other. Like, if you know Miyako enough to know the way that she writes her songs, that's her.
There's that classical feel to some of it as well.
She's classic, like I said, she's classically trained, so like maybe it might be like a bit of a boom to her, maybe in the future when obviously they try to do other varied stuff, but it just seeps classical trained now.
Yeah, I think that song structure is a big part of why I also personally like this a lot better than their previous music, even though that was great as well.
Yeah.
But I also think like they listen to their fans a lot, because like the only criticisms I ever heard was like Asami's pronunciation and maybe the song structure, and both of that is extremely improved in my opinion. And we touched upon that last time. There's even like a pronunciation advisor mentioned here. So that's I think
I feel like that's probably I feel like that's probably the weakest thing. What I think she could improve on her pronunciation still even more. So in another 2 years, it could be even better. So
personally, as I said in our last video about language stuff, I kind of like not understanding. I'll just draw the narrative I want from the feeling the song gives me. It's like a lot like classical music. It's like, I don't really need the lyrics. It's like I'll get what this feels like from the feeling that the song gives me. And there's like
I would agree with you in the sense, like for example, when I listen to Japanese music, I enjoy that I don't understand it, or any other language. But I mean, she's singing in English, and there it can kind of feel like this weird English, like the Japanese who can't really speak English, if you know what I mean. It's kind of, for me,
occasionally get a word or something, don't you?
I mean, I'm Scouse, so I'm barely English to start off with. So I understand most of it.
I mean, I'm not a native English speaker as well, so.
I was about to say, I don't even know if Neon is. He grew up in Germany.
I did. I'm more German than I am English. So
I don't know if Scouse actually counts as English.
In that case, I don't belong anywhere, and I'm an anomaly.
Well, let's talk actually on a slightly different subject though, because while we're hitting the big names, I noticed Benedikt, you mentioned like the other one is, you said it was like not just your favorite album of the year, but probably one of your favorite albums, full stop.
Yes,
which is an interesting. I know there's a lot of people. I've heard people who've like haven't liked it, people who have liked it. I don't think I've ever come across anyone who said it was their favorite BABYMETAL, let alone favorite album, full stop. So that's really interesting.
Well, I mean, it's hard to compare two completely different genres like that are not metal or something, but I would call it one of my favorite metal albums, at least.
So in the context of BABYMETAL, why do you think this one's better than their previous albums?
Well, better. I'm a person, I always try to avoid
backtracking now.
If you start saying favorite, you imply
this is react on that now.
Yes, but I feel it's very important because, better, it's completely subjective. I mean,
true.
You can have...
So in your subjective opinion,
In my subjective opinion, this is the best.
There we go.
There we go.
He made me
All
say
right.
it.
Clip that, put it all over the internet, and stick his name on it. Right.
No, but I mean, I
So,
loved
moreover,
baby metal before that, and I even get a tattoo before that came out.
So
but
I guess moreover, what about this album gets the most of baby metal for you? What about this really sort of exemplifies the qualities of baby metal?
well, it's always a difficult thing with baby metal because for me, one of the things that I love about baby metal the most is the diversity and just the different styles of music and genres they blend together. And yeah, just the fact that most of their music sounds different than everything they did before. And that's kind of the essence that I love so much about baby metal. And yeah, this album sounds completely different than everything I heard before by baby metal, which is, so it checks that box. And just that style. I mean, before, my favorite song, I'm not one that likes the most popular songs the most of the time. My favorite song before that was Starlight.
Interesting.
Yeah, actually one of my favorite songs ever. And that has, yeah, it has such, I don't know, some kind of ethereal vibe to it, and just this.
I can see why you like this album now then.
Yeah, and this feels like an album
soundscaping.
centered around that vibe. And that was just my favorite vibe before that. And now we have a full album of it.
It's like the soundscaping, you know, everything feels like it's, I guess everything feels like its own little world. You know, I guess the concept really does come through that.
Exactly.
I got to be honest, it's a bit of a stereotype, but I did really love Monochrome. I thought Monochrome, I know it's the single, but it was so good.
You know what? I can't even listen to Monochrome now. Every time I think of Monochrome, I go straight to the first take version instead.
Yeah.
Just wanted to ask which one you like more.
I'm actually gonna go for your answer here and say I like them both because of the fact that they're different from each other.
Fair.
I think they serve such different purposes. Through the same notes, they deliver such different emotions. And now I've given you time to think, Neon. Go for it.
What am I going for?
Which version do you prefer, Neon? Why do you hate the album version of Monochrome, Neon? Why do you hate the album?
I don't hate either of them. I just feel like the first take was really, really good.
Yeah, it was.
And I like the clean version of it. My favorite thing called Monochrome is when Sue does that one part where she's humming, and she hums in between. And I really, yeah, Howard's like, oh.
It's actually you said something I actually was like, yeah, I finally know what he's talking about. It's like,
I know. Yeah, no, I really.
Right, it's not like, do you remember when Baby Metal played this song in their 2017 closing show, and there was this incident? I'm like, I have no.
Behind closed doors, when one
it's
of
like the bit where Sue hummed on Monochrome. Yeah, that bit I fucking know.
I love that. You know, that's the best thing as well. I love the fans of Baby Metal, especially when we're watching concerts or something. I'm like, Neon, did you see that bit? And I'm like, what bit? Like, there, Moa tricked, like, you know, on the other side of the screen. And I'm like looking at the screen like, what? Trying to spot it. And everybody's like, how did you miss that 0.2 milliseconds of Moa tripping in that one scene, Neon?
How did you not know exactly where to look at exactly?
Yeah, exactly where to look at exactly.
Have you not seen this 50 times before? Have you not seen this 20 million times before? What are you doing? How dare you? Indeed.
I do like it though. Yeah, no, I really like the thing. I wouldn't say the other one is my favorite album from them though. I'm a sucker for the old, and I still say that the second album, Metal Resistance, is probably still my favorite. I just really like that. But I like that for I like that for other reasons. I feel like they've matured Baby Metal and they go a little bit harder now. But I'm still a sucker for that classic heavy metal cami band full flow music for me. Like when Amore and all that is proper shredding it. Fuck, it's amazing, and I love that. And then obviously the girls on top of that is just incredible. And where I feel like with modern baby metal now, the girls still incredible, but I feel like the music is a little bit more, I want to say, safer than it was back then. But again,
I'd say it's more efficiently constructed now. I mean, like every single song's going to have like a great melody. You know, it's going to have a great guitar line. You know, it's going to sound crisp.
I don't want to get into the debate of like saying why I don't like it, but I just miss that whole guitar like the dual guitars and the guitar flair and stuff like that, which I feel like
Interestingly
was a
enough,
little-
at a first listen, it wasn't my favorite album. It had to grow a bit.
It is a grower. It is a grower. Yeah,
That's
definitely.
what she said.
No, it is. not really. No.
Howard has some issues in the bedroom.
Where are my pills? Where are my pills? The funny thing is, though, is I mean, ironically, we're getting a little bit onto an old album now, but one of the reasons why I like Metal Resistance, probably not even the guitar stuff, it's just the fact that for me, it was the perfect balance between, although it had good and bad tracks, it was the perfect balance between they still were kind of poppy in places, they still were heavy in places, and the experimentation of the writing style, I think, went in more different directions. It was a bit hit and miss. I wouldn't say it is, definitely isn't as consistently pleasing as the other one, but still, I would say that yeah, that was still my favorite. Although remember, your favorite album of the year, according to Koba, is not actually an album. Technicalities, but it's a fucking album, all right. It's a list of songs, and it goes. It's an album. I don't care what anyone says.
They brought it out on a CD. It's got 12 songs. It's an album.
Yeah, it's an album. Anyone who says it's not an album, it's like, don't be brainwashed, sheeple.
It is.
It's an album.
But did you notice they changed their logo?
Yeah,
a little bit?
they took Yui's skull out, didn't they? And
Also
the
start
hearts
getting
and
angry.
the letters.
You know what? I'm not mad about that, to be honest. I know a lot of people are going to be upset, especially for like all the people that really appreciate Yui. I kind of see it from both point of view. I kind of feel like they, it could have kept the logo, and I feel that's really good respect. But also at the same time, I feel like the girls are maturing a little bit now. They're getting older, and I feel realistically a logo change, but for them, probably was well overdue, to be in all fairness.
But I mean,
I
it's
agree
so
with that.
minimal that you almost, the first times I saw the new logo, I didn't even notice, to be honest.
I think in a way, for me, I feel like they should. This is an attitude they should take to everything. They should go for a bigger change.
Yeah,
like,
that's
go for a bigger logo change.
I would
Bigger
say so.
outfit
If you change it, then change it significantly.
Yeah. I think that's probably
Don't
where they.
half-ass it.
Yeah, I think that's where they probably messed up. It's all right taking that, but yeah, I know, I agree. They should have just gone for.
But I mean, having their logo tattooed on my body, I would prefer them to keep it.
no, it makes it clear that you're an old school classic fan. You're
True as well.
Okay, so albums we're looking forward to that we suspect are going to come out this year or that might be coming out soon. Any albums that you guys are looking forward to? I would probably kick this off by saying, obviously, I think Scandal's album, I predict they're going to have an album probably come out next February. Just the way everything's sort of going, they got like the new song and everything. I don't think we're going to hear a new album from them until February. It just seems like they're doing what they did with Kiss from Darkness and playing the long game, building us up to a February release like they did with that. I think we're going to get a new Trident album this year, and
That's what I wanted to say.
up for some Trident. Yeah, I'm up for some Trident this year. Repaint went a bit old school, but I just felt like they connected to a little bit of what their sound is, and they always come up with interesting surprises. This is why I keep on saying that I really love Trident and tip them so much. Apart from the fact you've got a fantastic singer guitarist who does both those things to 11 all the time, brilliant bass and drums. On top of that, their songs, they might all be rock, but they're so different, and they take advantage of being a three-piece. Rather than limiting themselves, they use that space to say, okay, we're okay to have production. We're okay to have keyboards and strings and whatever and other sounds. You know, they'll do like songs like Verses that are more stompers. They'll do songs like Repaint, which are fast. They'll do songs like Spoopy that are crazy, or Signal that are like ballads. So I am just, you tell me there's new Trident coming, I'm just fucking excited just because it's new Trident. That's enough.
Still Trident from me, because that's what I want to say. Because I just checked out the Cry Out by Trident, and I also know Spoopy. And I know some of their older stuff like Advanced Generation. Yeah, really good. I'm very excited. I didn't even know if it's an album already, because someone mentioned this DX. I checked it, there's like 6 songs in the playlist, so I thought it was an EP.
Okay, so when we talk about albums, I think that Trident, I have to bring them closer because Trident.
Mini album, I see already.
Trident, yeah, they have a habit of mini albums that I don't actually know. I think someone told me that this is a full-length album coming, but I might be wrong on that. I think I read that somewhere, or someone told me that. But either way, whether it's a mini album or not, yeah, they're going to be producing some kind of record of some songs. Definitely, yeah. I don't know. I mean, Repaint was interesting because they seem to have always been progressing forwards. All their releases, they seem to grow. Repaint is the first time where I've ever felt that they've really gone back to a sound that they did before. But for me, it didn't feel like a regression. It felt like them kind of more cementing their core sound and doing a really good representation of it. So yeah, I'm looking forward to hearing what this album is, mini or otherwise, just so I can hear the crazy stuff they do, because I'm sure there'll be some experimentation in there.
Yeah, no, that's pretty decent. I'm
sorry, I started talking about Trident as I was like
I'm gonna go for one that hasn't been announced yet, but there's rumors and rumblings in the paperwork that a new one's coming out, and it probably fits in their timeline as well. But I'm gonna say Unlucky Morpheus.
Oh yeah.
Didn't they release a new album recently?
Yeah, they do it
That doesn't stop them.
every 2 years. Every 2 years on the spot. Obviously, we had Evolution back in 2022, I believe, the beginning of 2022. So we're entering that like kind of time period now where I expect to hear something probably before the end of this year for 2020.
But they've had a lot of songs recently, haven't they?
They have.
I don't really listen to their albums as much as I should. I'm really guilty of that. I really love Unlucky Morpheus, but I never really sit down and listen to their albums in full. So I don't know, like they're the sort of band who release like a video and it'll be like, oh, that song was 5 years old. Like, oh, okay, I thought it was new. Yeah, I don't really know where it fits in, but I just assume we've heard so much and they're so active on social media at the moment. They're really doing a lot.
They are
Figured that something's coming.
But yeah, I reckon I would say we'll probably hear something by the end of this year. We'll probably a 2024 release date. And I really love the last one. And they do tend to release stuff like 2 years on a bounce every so often. So I wouldn't, again, I'm expecting this is pure speculation, but on my part, I'm guessing here. But I expect, and they've never let me down, that there will be something dropping in 2024, which I'm looking forward to. My other thing would probably be BAND-MAID as well, but I feel like that's a bit of a cop-out because it just feels like just yesterday they released something, or it feels that way to me anyway.
I think that the furious touring and the release of the best of, I think it's kept them in the public eye, got them a lot of extra fans, and I'm sure in the background it's given them time to work on songs. But the fact that we got things like Memorable come out when we did, and the fact that we got Shambles come out when it did, I don't know whether, to me, those feel like part of the plethora of non-album songs that BAND-MAID are they're so prolific that they push out these non-album songs, and very often when they release a single, it's not an indication that a new album is coming. I mean, like Shambles apparently was tied to an anime. Obviously, Memorable was very spontaneous. So I suspect we might see these two songs come up at the end of an upcoming album in a similar way to the way that Corellium appeared on Unleash. But I don't think this is an indication that an album's coming soon. But I think the fact that they've had so much time on tour suggests to me that they probably have had enough time to write songs. So when an album does come, it will probably come very suddenly. They'll probably book studio time with a record company, and then it will just suddenly, oh yeah, we just recorded an album.
Yeah, I mean, we've been really, really lucky. Right? I've been personally really, really lucky the last year and a half, because I've had BAND-MAID drop, BABYMETAL drop, LOVEBITES drop, Unlucky Morpheus back again 2022, which is not that far away when you really think of it. So the last you want to say like a year and a half, man, everybody's kind of dropped stuff. But the thing what I love about Japanese music compared to Western music is like I said, is the consistency of how often they drop content is like insane. Like we've had this debate before, when like a Western band drops an album, it could be like 4-5 years until they drop another
3 or 4 years.
Yeah, and then
I love the fact that BABYMETAL's hiatus.
Yeah, just
like
wanted to get back to BABYMETAL as well.
I was gonna say BABYMETAL, they have like a hiatus of 1 year. It's like for most like Western bands, they could just fuck off for a year and come back and no one even notice.
Exactly. But also, do you think that the new song is a sign for a new album release? Maybe next year, end of next year? Even?
That's a good point.
I think that's already in the works. I reckon they already. This is why I think they got the other one out of the way already. Because I think before the other one released, this again purely speculation, nobody fucking knows. But I think they already knew that Momo was going to join at that point. I think they had a couple of songs in the work. What I personally think happened, because Momo did that idol thing that she did. She went on an idol
in Korea,
to do an idol show. And I think if she would have been selected, she could have been an idol in an idol band right now. So I think they've come into this, made a couple of the other one songs, which is purely just focusing on Moa and Sue. Once it became apparent that Momoko's thing didn't work out, I think they reached out to her and said, "Hey, are you interested in being with us full time?" And then I think they agreed. They sorted it out, but they already had enough content of what was potentially the other one was going to be Sue and Moa's album. So they've worked it all out. They planned it all out. They've released that, announced Momoko. They've got that all done, all out the way, all folded in nicely. And now they've got a year's gap. And set up for Momoko for the next album.
I mean, I mostly agree, but I know we discussed this a bit before, but I kind of refined what I thought partly because I see your point on that. I would say that when she was doing that thing in Korea, I think they probably had already approached her and said, "Look, if this doesn't work out, we want to give you the spot." So I don't think the record company would have waited till it fell through. It's not normal. They would have contacted her in advance and said, "Look, we got this spot," and I think they knew a long time in advance. And to be honest, I think even if she had been signed and sealed a long time in advance, I think they still would have done the other one without her because it's such a good business move. It's like have a hiatus. Then after the hiatus, come back with an album with the band that everyone already knows because they'd just be excited to have them back. And then you get 2 album hypes for the price of 1 by saying, well, hey, BABYMETAL are back. And it's like, now the next one's going to be exciting because we got a 3rd member. So yeah.
Why golf? But why golf?
Don't ask me.
BABYMETAL golf ball.
I know. React, you'll have to get in that channel. I almost forgot about that. You've just reminded me. As soon as you mentioned golf balls.
Yeah. Why golf?
Yeah, I've watched your video on it.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's probably.
I think they're just planning.
There could be an upcoming. Well, I think there will be an upcoming BABYMETAL album soon. I agree actually with what Benedikt I think was insinuating. I don't know if you actually thought this as well, but I think you were insinuating that Metal-y looks like the first sign of that, and I would be inclined to agree. I mean, it's a strong opening sign of intention because whether you like it as a song or not, it's a good single, and it also plays very strongly with this thing that they really
I also read a lot that it's like the introduction to the new BABYMETAL with Momoko, like the new era, so it would make sense to be a song of their first album.
Do you know what's really weird? When I first saw that, I actually said on my Discord, I said, you know what's really weird? But actually, that song and that release and that music video, just all of it tied, really felt like UE era BABYMETAL again. It feels like they're trying to do something new, but also feels old again.
Well, in a way, that's having a 3rd member. Although I still think they should have Moa and Momoko should have more presence in the songs. Still, I think that they had to, like, now they got 3 members, they have to go back to cementing that trio sort of status because it is so important to the fact that that's what even to people now, that's what they are to a lot of people.
And a return to black BABYMETAL, please, Cobra, if you're watching this, make that happen.
Some new iteration of it. Because they call it black BABYMETAL. There's going to be a lot of
it's not going to be called black.
Let me throw in a recommendation. If you don't know the album Beside You by the idol formerly known as Lady Baby, that's how they were called at one point. That's to me like an album, the closest thing I've ever heard that comes close to a black BABYMETAL album, I would say.
Talking of Lady Baby, by the way, obviously Lady Baby have been working hard on their return project, and I'm really excited to hopefully see the new form of Lady Baby, and I hope they drop an album when they come back as well, in the same way the Rare did the same thing. I hope that when they come back with a new album. I must admit, of the 3 iterations of Lady Baby, the first one was just one song to me, it was Nippon Manju, and then it was just like, yeah, joke's over. The second one, the artist
they have more songs.
Yeah, I know, but I don't really enjoy them very much, if I'm honest with you. Then the artist formerly known as Lady Baby, it started to become more interesting, but was a little bit messy. And then
I really like that.
Yeah, I gathered that from what you said, but for me, that
Howard's trying to make his point that he doesn't like them and react like, no, I like that.
No, that last iteration of Lady Baby, I absolutely loved it. That last iteration of Lady Baby, I loved it. I thought it was brilliant. I thought it was, the artist formerly known as Lady Baby, I really did enjoy it, but it's a bit too chaotic for me to really find it cohesive as an album.
I still talk to Lady Bird quite a lot on social media, so I might try and reach out to him and see if we can get him on his team.
Just bring him in. It's
That would
like,
be awesome.
hey, here's that guy who called your latest project disappointing. Bring him in. Bring him in.
Yeah. We might exclude Howard completely for this interview.
No.
We'll just
change my name in the corner. So my name in the corner says questions your last project. And then
oh god. So
yeah.
Mine too likes your previous project more.
Yeah, we should do that. We should have all of our names just like, just don't mention it for them. Okay, so as we're starting to come down a little bit of time on the free version of Zoom, I wanted to sort of like just add to that. We were obviously talking about BABYMETAL, hopefully for the future. We're looking forward to hearing an album and seeing whether it goes more back to the old style BABYMETAL.
Metalverse, whatever that will be.
I'm looking forward to
Metalverse.
Metalverse. I haven't covered that. I've been so tempted. A lot of people have been posting like fan cams and they're like, Neon, you've got to react to it. But I'm kind of like holding out for something official. I'm missing out on, this is the thing, I'm missing out on so many views right now because I know people are
me too.
that. And I'm just like, I kind of want to wait. I want to see what their first official thing is.
Finally, not doing reactions actually means that I get in first. Not being a reactor has a benefit.
Yeah, me and Benedikt are like, trying to do the right thing and wait for something official, but Howard's just like, no, give it.
Hey! It's only the right thing if your whole deal is having a reaction. My deal is talking about the future and concepts, and I see everyone's already looking forward. All right, anyway. It's not long before
I just watched you talk about subscribers in this group. I just watched a video about Metalverse right before we recorded.
Yeah. Chasing that clap.
he looks down when he said that. He's like, oh, well.
You haven't read my comment yet.
Yeah, no, I really want to do it. Like like you said, I'm literally fighting the urge, man, not to do Metalverse at the minute. It really is like physically.
Well, that's something that we get to find out about tomorrow, isn't it? I mean, it's a 2-day unboxing. What is this 2-day unboxing? Why does it take 2 days? I mean, apart from the fact that Colbert, he likes his drama. Do we know why it's going to take them 2 days to unveil it? Are we getting like the band on the first day and then like information about what the hell they're going to do on the second day?
Only the box God knows. Wow,
yeah,
fucking clue.
I will say that's right. I'm looking for your comment right now. I'm going to read this out.
It wasn't that
bad. Okay, it wasn't that bad. Do you mean my video or the comment?
Both.
I let you decide.
It's going to be like that, isn't it? Here we go. I mean, it's all speculative at this point, so we agree. But I personally love that Metalverse could just be more like BABYMETAL. Yeah, I think this is a big thing. BABYMETAL is so diverse and different. And actually, I did read this before I went live. I just didn't check who it was. I read this
that's an even bigger insult.
Hey, I get so many comments. I just read them. I don't pay attention to the name. Why am I doing this? A racist accent.
Mamma mia!
Nonsense, and I go like into like a Mario Italian. But yeah, no, I kind of agree with what you say here, and I think you make a good point for why Metalverse being similar to BABYMETAL is a good thing. But just for me, I'm always excited about new things, and especially if you've got such a strong basis as BABYMETAL, then I want to see you take that in a different direction because you still got BABYMETAL. So it's like you don't need them to be too similar. I think
that's the only negative I can think of that it would take away from BABYMETAL. It would like replace it or something. I don't think that's going to happen.
No, I don't think
I just think it's more that it would take away the potential things they could give us as the audience.
It's just going to be something additional. I mean, if you don't like that, then don't like it. But
no, if it is additional, I like it. But the moment, if it's too similar, it won't feel additional. It'll just feel like more of the same.
In gaming sense, it's like additional DLC. It's tacked on. I like it. It adds to the experience.
Yeah, but you don't have to get it.
Exactly. You don't have to buy the horse armor if you don't want.
No, they're a DLC band. That is what they are to me now. I love that analogy so well. So I
just released the chorus. For more, you have to pay.
Don't give Cobra ideas, Jesus Christ!
Who said I was paying?
They're already at golf balls. So
golf balls. Why golf?
Why golf? Why golf?
All right, everybody, if you're watching this, like, subscribe, do all that crap, comment down below. Before we go, can we just say that I'm gonna do it? Fuck it, I'm gonna do it.
with the support of you people at home, you wonderful, wonderful people at home, maybe the best album of the year is yet to come. If you want to go check out Dadadam, support them, then if they get enough support, I will be able to take them into the studio, and the best album of the year will be coming if we can get enough support. So please do continue to follow them. That's why they're down there, and continue to follow them, watch them, because those figures, if the record company see them, if they keep on coming in month after month, it's all paving the way for me to get them into the studio and record a full album of all those wonderful songs you've heard them play live. Da-da-dams. Love it.
There you go,
Anyway,
Dams. And we're obviously leaning into Howard's Italian heritage. And make sure you like and subscribe.
He's a da-da-dam good
It's
music.
a da-da-dam
Hit the button.
experience.
Well, at least we're all racist now. Okay.
So, oh,
Da-da-da-da-da-da.
dead.
Your ears to the end.